A winner is a dreamer who never gives up. A quote which sums up the life of the leader we are talking about today, Nelson Mandela. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jaspreet, and I, along with my teammates Ashish, Jasprit, and Rajwan, will try to throw light on life of one of the greatest mass leaders of 20th century. There have been many different types of leaders in the world. Some changed geography by winning great swaths of land, while there were others who reached epitome of power by killing millions of humans. But there have been very few who were able to usher in a change in thought process and attitude of people. Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela was one such leader. Our today's agenda would cover introduction of a leader, qualities and traits of a leader, and we will talk about two components of 4B model, and we will try to discuss some Nelson's critique actions, and then we will conclude our presentation. Nelson Mandela was born on July 18, 1918 in a small town in South Africa. His birth name was Rolihlahla Mandela, in which Rolihlahla in African language means troublemaker. His father was a respected counselor to a tribal chief but lost his position and fortune because of a dispute, because of which Nelson grew up in an environment of poverty and oppression. He was baptized in a Methodist church and became first in the family to attend school, where his teacher added Nelson to his name. When Nelson was 12 years old, his father died of lung disease. Mandela attended a Wesleyan Mission School, Clarkbury Boarding Institute, and Wesleyan College. In 1993, Mandela and President de Klerk were jointly awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for their work towards dismantling apartheid in South Africa. He is known as Grandfather of South Africa. His birthday, July 18th, is celebrated as Mandela Day, a day to promote global peace. This day was just last Saturday. He spent 27 years in prison from November 1962 until February 1990, during which he earned a Bachelor of Law degree. He earned a Bachelor of Law degree through a University of London correspondence program. He became the president of the ANC Youth League in 1950. He was a leading opponent of 1948 apartheid legislation and played a leading role in ending apartheid. He became first black president of South Africa in 1994 and focused on national reconciliation during his presidency. Now I'll hand over to Jasprit, who will talk more about what kind of leader Nelson was. Thank you.
Thank you, Jasmeet. Hi, my name is Jaspreet. So I will take care from there. So I start by giving a beautiful note that Nelson Mandela used to spoke when he was a leader. Like, the greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time as we fall. So it's a very good note, as it suggests that whenever you fall, you have to take a lesson from that, and you have to keep move forward. So next slide, please. Yeah, next slide. Yeah, that's it. So there I'm gonna discuss about the quality of a good leader that uh, Nelson Mandela possesses. There are two of them. The first one is embracing ethicals, and second is communication skills. So about the embracing ethicals, as being a first black president of South Africa, Nelson Mandela shows strong ethical values in his leadership by constantly guiding his followers to avoid all violence and keep the center of attention before they act. So by this means, he wants to teach his followers about leadership values, that so that they can avoid the violence and they can make a right use of his minds. And Nelson Mandela was described as a hero and a freedom fighter because of these type of leadership styles that he used in his real life and his professional lives too. About the communication skill, I can say that when facing challenges, arguments, and defenses, Mandela would anticipate his opponents and will effectively communicate his response based on those challenges. So, and by this means, he sets in his opponent's mind, and By this means, he can convey whatever he wants to his followers and also to his opponents. Next slide, please. So these are the leadership styles that uh, Nelson Mandela used when he was a leader. I can say that when he was a good leader, is charismatic, transformational, and inspirational. So in the 20th century, Nelson Mandela was one of the most influenced figures who led to fight against the wrong things that were happening in South Africa. So, as a first black president, he achieved a lot of success about telling the people what they can do with their good set of mind. And it was this leadership style which held the trust between Mandela and the follower, especially I can say that ANC followers at that time. Uh, and the followers when the Mandela was imprisoned for 27 years. In fact, this strong emotional reaction gave him a strong belief that they should continue to fight whatever the situation will be. About the transformational, I can say that Nelson Mandela, a man who fought to encourage his people to continue fighting until they strive freedoms and never giving up until they achieve their goals. So it's like you have to transfer what he suggested over that time, that you have to transform until you get the desired result. The result may be the freedom from the discrimination that was happened over that time between black and white people. And about the inspirational, uh, while the Nelson Mandela was a leader of ANC, he inspired his follower by assisting them to understand the importance and its values of his visions. Mandela, as he was the ANC leader, encouraged his followers to develop their own understanding of what is important to their nation and what is not. Like you have to, at that time, he suggested his followers to make the understanding of their own about the freedoms, that what kind of freedom they want, and they can achieve it if they have a stable set of mind. So now I forward the slides to Ashish.
Uh, Thank you, Jasprit. Uh, Today I'm going to talk about a couple of components of 4V model. First of all, what is 4V model? 4V model is developed by the Center of Ethical Leadership, which aligns internal aspects with external aspects of leadership. It's about supporting an inner journey of integrity and through it make an outer commitment to a common goal. Here, the four V's are values, vision, voice, and virtues. So first, I'm going to talk about values. Next slide, please. Yeah. Uh, to develop good ethical leadership, leaders needs to first go in the search of its own core values. Here, the values are central to identity and play key role to all levels of personal choice makings and decisions. The values are reflected through our actions and influence our behavior. So, if there are any misalignment between them, then it can create confusion or error in our decision or actions. Uh, the Nelson Mandela had many values. Like first of them is passion produces perseverance. It means opposed to and policies of countries, white minority government. The Mandela led a non-violent actions against the apartheid in South Africa. It was choice that landed him in prison for 27 years. So the next one is forgiveness is key to focusing forward. The Nelson Mandela's emotion usually gravitated towards anger and resentment. Mandela didn't choose to live in a world full of racism, but he was able to choose how he would respond to the world. So he said, "We don't have to be victim of our past; that we cannot let go our bitterness, and that all us can achieve greatness." The third one is end right versus being right, which means strong will and determined. Nelson Mandela never cowered. He strongly fought for what he believed in, but he was not. He was also humble and kind. Uh, he always understood that You cannot make peace with your enemy if you are not willing to work with them and treat with them dignity. The fourth one is change. Change begins from inside out. Here, the self-awareness is sign of great leadership. Mandela understood that he was going to lead his nations out of racism, discrimination, and into peaceful democracy. He would have been to a change. Now I'm going to talk about the second component, voice. The voice concerns the ability to articulate our thoughts and vision into authentic and convincing way to motivate team members toward ethical decision and actions. It's a communication component of this model. So Nelson Mandela taught us importance of standing up for what we think is right. He applied his leadership concepts to his country. The first parameter of voice is communication. Even though the government attempt to stop his idea by cutting off his access to a rest of his population, Mandela is proof that he clearly communicate idea can continue to live on even if the person who said the idea is not physically present. If you are consistent, which means if you are consistent with your own ideology, uh, it's possible to create change in the world that you want to see. The second one is charisma. The Mandela had great ideas to his people that would eventually lead them into New South Africa. Without his charisma and passion, it is entirely possible that his idea would have been ignored. The third one is inspiration. To inspire people, Mandela lived by philosophy of showing people what he meant instead of telling them. By showing people his vision, he encouraged them to develop their own thoughts and understanding of what was important for equal South Africa. The fourth one is transformation. The long before he began to publicly fight apartheid, Nelson Mandela was already transforming expectations within his own country. Uh, with his partner Oliver, he was able to open the first legal practice that was founded by Black South Africa in 1952. The last one is ethics. Mandela taught us that there are times it is imperative to stand up and fight to protect your nation, community, and family. So these are the couple of components of 4V model. Now I'm gonna hand over to um, Rajwant. Thank you.
Thanks, Assis. My name is Rajan. Today I'm going to discuss some critic actions of Nelson. As Nelson was the head of Umkhonto Sizwe, the terrorist wing of the African National Congress and South African Communist Party. According to some views, he was promoted to violence activities. His party placed bombs at many public places, including Church Street, West Pretoria in 1983 and Durban Pick and Move shopping complex in 1986 and at Johannesburg railway station. So because of all these terrorist activities, many innocent people has lost their lives. And second, as he preferred to purchase weapons, as Mandela's government slipped into the custom of putting national force and prestige above its people. As in 1998, Mandela's government was entrusted to purchase 28 fighter aircraft from Sweden at cost of US 65 million per plane. And in 1999, his party decided to purchase new weapons at cost of US 4.8 billion. So the South African Department of Defense purchased new weapons including frigates, submarines, light utility helicopters, fighter jet trains, and advanced light fighter aircraft. Next, please. Despite being interchangeable, Mandela was never hesitant to glad hand the Turks and dictators of the global field. As Nelson never took any action against General Sani Abacha, Abacha seized power in Nigeria in a military coup in November 1993. And from the start of Nelson's presidency, Nelson refrained from publicly condemning Abacha's activities. and Nelson's had a good relation with Muammar Gaddafi. Gaddafi was the chairman of the Libyan Arab Republic from 1969 to 1977. And Gaddafi was responsible for many terrorist activity, including Lakubi in 2011. And Nelson was great relationship with Gaddafi, and Nelson awarded to Gaddafi with South African highest honor. And as a leader, he was willing to use violence in 1953, as he had decided that non-violent operations was not working. So he made a decision to take the path of violence for freedom. He made a speech that his party had to come up with new plans for political struggle. So because of his this speech, in 1916, Sharpeville massacre was happened, as it was the first and most violent demonstration in South Africa. In this incident, more than 69 people were killed by police, and according to police, near about 20,000 black people gathered near police station, and they started stoning police officer, and they opened fire on police station with submachine guns. This incident just happened because of Nelson's speech, because he was willing to use violence activity to get freedom. So I'm going to hand over to Jasmeet.
Thank you, Rajwant. So, as we saw that Nelson led a life of struggle, oppression, and torture, but still overcame all the challenges to make life better, not only for himself, but for millions of South Africans who were leading a subhuman life under apartheid. He never let his personal struggles come in the way of his ultimate vision, which was independence from life of oppression and discrimination. His life inspired millions of others to struggle to achieve a life of dignity and self-respect. Some may say that winning Nobel Prize or becoming the first black president was his greatest achievement. But in my opinion, his greatest achievement was his ability to remove self-doubt and feeling of being lesser beings from minds of his people. The seed of hope he was able to sow in the mind of his followers was the reason that South Africa was forced to end the policy of apartheid in 1994. We can all learn so much from this man. His life teaches us to strive for your beliefs and rights. Never give up. Have a vision. Believe in a cause of greater good. And be willing to give your absolute everything for that cause. Today's world needs many Nelson Mandelas now more than ever. Thank you.